acting. One, two, three.
Adam Michaels is here.
Now he's here too. Big E.
I told them that you were complaining last year.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we have your attention, please? We ask that you familiarize yourselves with the nearest marked exits as a cautionary procedure prior to our commencement ceremony today. In the event of an actual emergency, please remain calm, and public safety and security officials will direct you to specific locations where detailed instructions will be provided for you as needed. Thank you for your cooperation.
too fast. At least I don't think I have it. So there's three. 1, 2, 3. Who starts? You start, Dave. No pressure. You'll be fine.
Good morning. The 262nd Commencement of the University of Pennsylvania will now begin.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Meredith Brandt, for that beautiful rendition of the national anthem. My friends, will you please join me in the spirit of prayer for our invocation? All things work together for the good. Those first days on campus during NSO, those long nights studying, writing, doing problem sets, preparing for clinicals, sitting in awe under a brilliant professor, standing with joy at a fling concert, throwing streamers in the palestra, all things work together for the good. Family members working so that we might be able to study here. Friends, coaches, teachers, mentors who saw something in us. Ancestors suffering, enduring, protesting, and living so that we might be free, so that we might experience this day. All things work together for the good. Even the aspects of the journey that didn't go as we'd hoped for or planned. The grades that weren't as high as we wanted. The internships we didn't get. The groups we didn't get into. The colleges or grad schools we didn't end up matriculating at. All those closed doors sent us on the right path here to Penn to this morning and to all that awaits in the future, all things truly work for the good. And all the moving parts of this university, our 12 schools, more than 100 majors, departments, programs, and concentrations, hundreds of student groups, teams, cultural centers, institutes, clinics, and offices served by more than 30,000 faculty and staff members. All these different people work together for the good every day here at Penn. And now we gather this morning, O gracious one, to celebrate and to give thanks for it all. We pray you bless these commencement exercises, these wonderful graduates of this amazing institution. Amen. And you may be seated.
Good morning. Please welcome Penn's great president, Amy Gutmann.
Whoa! Thank you all. Wow, to the amazing class of 2018, you look fabulous. To our trustees, our faculty, and the parents of our graduates, you look so proud, as well you should be. And parents, you also look relieved. Congratulations to all of you. So, everyone, look around. From a distance here, this appears to be a sea of black-robed sameness. But let's take this opportunity to conduct an experiment, okay? I ask all of our graduates at this time to please stand up. All of our graduates, please stand up. It's not over yet, though. Stay standing. Let's see just how much sameness lurks underneath, below the surface. And don't worry, this exercise will not involve disrobing. I know you're disappointed, but it won't. Graduates, today on the surface, you all look a lot alike, but differerences are hidden underneath. So everyone with bare knees, all of you wearing shorts or skirts beneath your robes, please be seated. Bare-kneed graduates, please be seated. Okay? Now, to graduates with covered knees, if you're wearing a wristwatch, you know what a wristwatch is, those of you who are younger? If you're wearing a wristwatch, remain standing. Those of you without watches, please be seated. Okay. To our knee-covered, time-conscious graduates. You're unique in other ways. Please be seated unless you're wearing, listen up, a Power of Penn t-shirt. Be seated unless you're wearing a Power of Penn t-shirt. If you're wearing a Power of Penn t-shirt, please remain standing. Well, hello there. So what should we talk about? What should we talk about? You can wave to your family and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Michaela Reynolds, who graciously agreed to help me out this morning in this experiment. Michaela, thank you so much. You can be seated. Okay, so why did we just do this exercise, right? Good question, right? Why did we do it? Because my message today to you is this. Too many people in this world would have us stand apart from one another based on our differences, and too many others, for the sake of sameness, would have us deny our individuality, which is character, not clothing. In fact, what makes us unique and what unites us are not starkly opposed. Uniqueness and unity are twin pillars of a strong and vibrant pluralism. We thrive when we combine unity of shared values with our unique perspectives on life. It has never been more important that we think uniquely while we stand united. This message is driven home daily by stories from around the world and stories right here at Penn. One Penn story began in Sudan, where civil war raged, killing millions. People lost everything. The chance to become educated came only to a very lucky few. One of them was Dow Jock, proud 2014 graduate of the College of Arts and Sciences. Dow's father was killed in the Sudanese Civil War. His mother fled with his family to Des Moines, Iowa. Dow's unique perspective was forged by profound loss and the struggles of creating a new life in an alien country. His distinctive experiences may seem defined by vast differences, but exactly the opposite is true. This spring, Dow was part of our annual Sylphin Forum, joining leaders like Jeb Bush and Joe Biden to discuss refugees and immigration. It was Dow, who is now a commissioned officer in the US Army and pursuing his PhD in education. It was Dow, let's hear it for education over there, yes? It was Dow who cut right to the heart of the matter when he asked his fellow Penn students and alums. He looked at them and said, "Are you speaking the values that we share? Are you speaking the values that we share?" Dow's message was clear: we all must speak the values that we share. So often we're told that our differences divide us, but it is our unique life stories brought together and joined as a whole that constitute our common strengths. We must speak out and say to the world that unique in our experiences, unique in our outlooks, we are united in our values. And we must communicate those values at every opportunity. From South Sudan to snowy Iowa to Franklin Field, we need to speak the values that we share. So I will speak them now. We cherish liberty, not chains, opportunity without limit, love without condition, and learning without end. These are universal words to live by. So let's take Dow's message to heart and say them aloud together. I'll start if you'll back me up. Let me hear you say, liberty, not chains. Liberty, not chains. Opportunity without limit. Opportunity without limit. Love without condition. Love without condition. And learning without end. Learning without end. Amen. And so we stand united against prejudice and bias, hatred and cruelty, though our paths differ. Each of us has our own creative views on how best to advance liberty and opportunity, love, and learning. Uniqueness and unity are not opposed, and I learned that early in my own life. As many of you know, I was the first in my family to graduate college, and I'm very proud of that. Let's hear it for our Figley students. So when I began my journey from my home in rural New York to an Ivy League campus, I honestly didn't know what to expect, but I knew I wanted to fit in. So I saved up every penny of my summer job money to buy a suitcase full of new formal clothes. Belongings in hand, I headed off to an unfamiliar new world. But my very first day, a classmate who would become a good friend took one look at the clothes that I had packed, and she said to me in no uncertain terms, "These have all got to go." So I traded them in for a couple pair of Levi's and some t-shirts. Okay, so off to a rocky start. As a scholarship student, I had a work-study job, and it was in the early mornings before class. All my new friends had a habit of staying up late, very late. So of course, I was determined to keep up by staying up late as well. At that time, I thought being perpetually sleep-deprived was a condition unique to me. Anyone here happen to share that condition? Yeah. Here's the takeaway. When I first arrived, I focused on how different I felt as a first-generation, low-income student, and how much I wanted to fit in. And then one day, I tried a different approach. Arriving back on campus from spring break, which I spent at home with my wonderful widowed mom, I was carrying the very same suitcase. Again, it was full, but not of who I thought I should be, but of who I actually was. It was jam-packed with home cooking, lovingly prepared, Mama B's light-as-air cheese blintzes, stuffed cabbage special recipe, and corned beef nice and lean, and jumbo chocolate chip cookies that could make you cry for joy. My friends had never tasted anything quite like it, and nor had I tasted anything quite like their experiences or they mine. We shared something over that meal, and many more to come, that went far beyond my mom's blintzes, as great as they were. And they were great. We shared our own unique recipes for life, our perspectives on life. And what I came to understand was that our differences are, in fact, our strengths. Strengths that in turn advance what you and I and all of Penn are trying to achieve. The Great Seal of the United States reads "E pluribus unum," from many one. Graduates, during your time here, you have come to know the red and blue version we hold so dear. E pennibus unum. From many Penn people, one Penn family. From all 50 states in the Union and more than 100 countries. From all walks of life, the Penn family lives and learns, engages and enjoys one another. We have grown together in this constantly illuminating swirl of uniqueness as you have stood together inspiringly for the values that we share. You exemplify what E pennibus unum truly means, what the Penn family really stands for: liberty, not chains, opportunity without limit, love without condition, and learning without end. And as you go forth as you go forth today, your great task, the life's project that we all share, is to take this well-learned lesson, think uniquely, stand united, take it out into our society and the world. Speak the values that we share. Speak them when needed, sing them from the rooftops with the unique voice that each and every one of you possesses. So now, I ask everybody to stand together. Proud families and friends, university leaders and faculty, stand with me now and show our profound pride in the unique and united class of 2018. Thank you all.
Good morning. As Provost, it's my great pleasure to acknowledge the many awards and distinctions accorded to our faculty and students this year. Their achievements, many of which are listed in your commencement program, bring honor to them and to the university and deserve our full recognition. I urge your special attention to those members of the faculty who have been honored for their teaching, the 8 recipients of the Limbach Teaching Award, the 4 recipients of the Provost Awards, and those faculty who have been accorded teaching awards from their individual schools. I would also like to recognize those members of the faculty who have stepped down after many years of distinguished service. These dedicated scholars have devoted their careers to the acquisition of knowledge and have shared their wisdom and their insights with students, inspiring them in their own intellectual pursuits. Faculty members who have retired after a lifetime of scholarship and teaching exemplify the high ideals and standards to which all of us in the Academy aspire. Several members of the class of 2018 have distinguished themselves in their academic studies and in their service to the university. I will first name those receiving senior class awards and leadership awards, and then acknowledge those receiving academic honors. Please stand when I announce your name and remain standing until I've completed the list. I ask the audience to hold your applause until all the award recipients have been announced. Those receiving senior class honor awards are Michaela Reynolds, the Althea K. Hoddle Shield Award; Celicia Lomax, the Gaylord P. Harnwell Flag Award; Alexandra Rubin, the David R. Goddard Loving Cup Award; Madeline Gelfand, the R. Gene Brownlee Skimmer Hat Award; Kayvon Asamani, the Spoon; Jerome Allen, the Bowl; Dawit Gebrselassie, the Cane; Nicholas Silverio, the Spade. The winners of the President's Engagement Prize are Griffin Amdur, Spanika Balasubramanian, Elena Hall, Peter Yemdahl, James McPhail, and Andrew Witherspoon. The winners of the President's Innovation Prize are Adarsh Batu, Reijing Yang, Brandon Cow. Those seniors receiving leadership awards are David Tai, Asian Alumni Network Student Leadership Award; Michelle Wokedi, Association of Alumni Fathers Trophy; the Association of Alumni Robert J. Alig Senior Award goes to Samantha Grasso and Somia Ketan; Ramon Garcia Gomez, Association of Latino Alumni Student Leadership Award; Keturah Peters, Association of Native Alumni Student Leadership Award; Samiza Palmer, Black Alumni Society Student Leadership Award; Magana Nalaraja, James Brister Society Student Leadership Award; Maya Thompson, James Brister Society Graduate Student Leadership Award; Justin Watson, Class of 1915 Award; Sean Collins, Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender Alumni Association Student Leadership Award. The William Levy Kite and Key Award for Service and Scholarship goes to Sophia Griffith-Gorgati and Talia Kramer. The winners of the Saul Feinstein Undergraduate Award are Sonari Chidi, Stephen Damianos, Nicholas Escobar, and David Tai. The winners of the Penn Alumni Student Award of Merit are Mariana Franca, Michelle Wolketti, Kanish Garel, Christopher Durso, and Jeffrey Weissman. The Penn Student Agencies Award goes to Sang-Min Oh. The Trustees Council of Penn Women Michelle Huber and Brian D. Giles Award goes to Megana Yayam. The Trustees Council of Penn Women's Student Leadership Award goes to Nicole Weldon. The James Howard Weiss Memorial Award goes to Brian Rodriguez. Please join me in applauding these talented young people. You may sit down. Now, I would like to acknowledge those who have been elected to the principal undergraduate and graduate honor societies. Please stand as I name each society. Phi Beta Kappa. Matthew Cryer Honor Society. Omicron Kappa Upsilon. Eta Kappa Nu. Tau Beta Pi. Alpha Omega Alpha. Gold Humanism Honor Society. Sigma Theta Tau. Phi Zeta, and Beta Gamma Sigma. Will all those students who are the recipients of various prizes and awards granted by their schools and departments, and those who by their academic accomplishments have earned scholarships for advanced study, please rise as well. I ask the audience to join me in saluting these outstanding young people.
President Gutmann, Provost Pritchett, trustees, honorary degree recipients, faculty colleagues, families, friends, and most of all you wonderful graduates of the class of 2018. Welcome to this day of new possibilities. As the chair of Faculty Senate, I have the privilege to address you today as you leave the safe and familiar walls of this beautiful campus and head out into the world. How incredibly exciting. This is a time when this country and this world desperately need your energy and your commitment to build a better future. As Benjamin Franklin said, the noblest question in the world is, what good may I do in it? And there is so much good to be done. The challenges we face are numerous, and the solutions demand energy and commitment. You have that in spades. We hear from you again and again when you speak up in class, when we engage in one-on-one conversation with you, when we overhear conversations among you and your peers, that you yearn to make the world a better place for all. And most important, you believe it is possible. You could do worse than to model yourself after old Ben, a man of immense talent and a true commitment to bettering the world. As several of our own faculty state in their book, whose title, Knowledge for Social Change, I borrowed, with permission of course, from my own speech today, Franklin had a lifelong categorical imperative to do good and believed that knowledge functions as wisdom and power to do good only when we use it to engage in action-oriented, collaborative, real-world problem solving. Let us just remind ourselves of a few of his accomplishments. He established the Union Fire Company, one of the first organized firefighting groups in the world, in 1736. He helped found the first hospital in the US, Pennsylvania Hospital, right here in Philadelphia. He introduced the lightning rod to colonial America and saved many a village from massive fires. And my favorite, he was an avid swimmer throughout his life and he invented swim fins when he was just 11 years old. So channel his passion for making life better for all and strive to work together to solve the complex problems we face today. This university, under our president's leadership, has as its core a respect for and belief in the power of cross-disciplinary collaboration. And we have challenged you again and again to embrace this approach. Just this year, the President's Engagement Prize winners tackled issues such as infectious disease in children in Mexico, access to furniture for vulnerable individuals in Chicago, diverting waste from landfills to recycling centers in India, and treating glaucoma. You are undaunted and determined, two essential qualities that will serve you well, but most of all, you are optimistic. This is the quality that will take you far and will ensure that you succeed. You are at the peak of your powers today, and you have the education from one of the finest institutions in the world in your pocket. So remember Ben's question, what good may I do in this world? And go out and make us proud.
The honorary degrees will now be conferred. This is a Penn tradition that dates back to the 1750s. The full text of each citation is included in your commencement program. Sylvia Earle. For 7 decades as a marine ecosystems researcher and 7,000 hours underwater have earned you the moniker, Her Deepness. You have broken diving records, you've piloted submarines, you've advised on overfishing and oil spills, and you've worked tirelessly for the health of our oceans. You were the first woman to serve as the chief scientist of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and in the face of daunting challenges, you have united over 200 organizations to create a growing global network of protected hope spots. The subject of the Emmy-winning documentary, Mission Blue, you have been honored by Time as a world-changing woman. The Library of Congress calls you a living legend for your dedication to protecting our precious oceans. The trustees of the University of Pennsylvania are honored and pleased to confer upon you, Sylvia Earle, the degree of Doctor of Sciences honoris causa. Hrabowski. At age 12, facing fire hoses and police dogs, you marched peacefully for civil rights and were held in custody for days. Thus began your life of advocacy. Since 1992, you have served as president of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, with distinction. Especially in your support of African American, Latino, and low-income students pursuing STEM careers. You dramatically improved completion rates for all students. Today, UMBC graduates there are more African American students graduating from UMBC who then complete doctorates or medical school than any college in the nation. You were named by Time as one of the world's 100 most influential people. For your steadfast efforts on behalf of higher education, the trustees of the University of Pennsylvania are honored and pleased to confer upon you, Freeman Hrabowski, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa. Elihu Katz. As a graduate student, you co-wrote the discipline-defining book, Personal Influence, the part played by people and the flow of mass communications. Recognizing television's profound significance, you identified audiences as active participants within a powerful interaction. You are now Distinguished Trustee Professor Emeritus of Communication at our Annenberg School. You authored more than 20 books and 200 scholarly articles. Penn created a digital archive to make your work available worldwide. In recognition of your contributions, you received the Israel Prize for Social Sciences, that country's most prestigious academic award. For brilliantly and formatively advancing our understanding of communication studies and human interaction, the trustees of the University of Pennsylvania are honored and pleased to confer upon you, Elihu Katz, the degree of Doctor of Sciences, honoris causa. Andrea Mitchell. You once stared down Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir in a hard-hitting interview. You were soon dragged off by armed guards. Today, as Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent for NBC News and host of MSNBC's Andrea Mitchell Reports, you are one of the industry's most respected broadcast journalists. Your reporting and interviews inform millions on the critical issues of our time. You've also kept Penn close. Now an emerita trustee, you are vice chair of the board and co-chair of Penn's record-breaking Making History campaign. You now chair the board of overseers of our School of Arts and Sciences. With your husband, Alan Greenspan, you generously endowed 2 Penn Integrates Knowledge University professorships and the Andrea Mitchell Center for the Study of Democracy. For your inspirational example of journalistic integrity and passionate dedication to elevating democracy and education, the trustees of the University of Pennsylvania are so proud to call you one of our own and honored to confer upon you, Andrea Mitchell, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Yannick Nazay-Sagan. It was to our city's good fortune when you became the Philadelphia Orchestra's music director and Walter and Leonore Annenberg Chair. Later this year, New York's Metropolitan Opera will benefit from your talents as you become their music director as well. You picked up the baton at age 10, and by 22, you had both directed and founded some of the premier musical institutions of Montreal. Today, under your leadership, the Philadelphia Orchestra engages our city with free concerts, residencies, and play-ins, where young artists perform with orchestra members. For your unparalleled artistry and enthusiasm for sharing music, the trustees of the University of Pennsylvania are honored and pleased to confer upon you, Yannick Nazay-Sagan, the degree of Doctor of Music, honoris causa. Peggy Noonan. Challenger space shuttle disaster, President Reagan addressed the nation. As his speechwriter, you crafted brilliant words that became known as one of the century's great speeches. Since 2000, you have offered your own unique perspective in your Wall Street Journal editorial column, Declarations. When you won the 2016 Pulitzer Prize in Journalism for distinguished commentary, the prize committee commended your beautifully rendered columns that connected readers to the shared virtues of Americans. The best-selling author of 9 books, most recently you published a collection of your work, The Time of Our Lives, for urging us to achieve a deeper understanding of ourselves, our culture, and our country. The trustees of the University of Pennsylvania are honored and pleased to confer upon you, Peggy Noonan, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Laura Thatcher Ulrich. A scholar of early American history, you reveal the unrecorded lives of women. You were a mother of 5 when you received your University of New Hampshire PhD. You later held faculty appointments there and at Harvard, where you were named the 300th anniversary university professor. Your book, A Midwife's Tale, The Life of Martha Ballard, won the 1991 Pulitzer Prize for History, a first for a work of women's history. In 1976, you penned the phrase, "Well-behaved women seldom make history." Thirty years later, you reflected on the phrase's journey and history-making women. In recognition of your scholarship on the lives of women, the trustees of the University of Pennsylvania are honored and pleased to confer upon you, Laurel Thatcher Ulrich, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Hold it up. Hamdi Ulukaya. You were a student in Turkey when dangerous attention from authorities spurred your move to the United States, where you built a yogurt company. Today, Chobani is one of the fastest growing and Chobani is one of the fastest growing and most respected food companies in the world. As founder, chair, and CEO, you led Chobani in doing great social good. Chobani has always sought refugees and immigrants to work alongside local Americans. You said, the minute a refugee has a job, that's the minute they stop being a refugee. A giving pledge signer, you committed your wealth to addressing the global refugee crisis. You founded the Tent Foundation. Over 70 private sector firms now assist with relief efforts. For your humanitarian leadership, the trustees of the University of Pennsylvania are honored and pleased to confer upon you, Hamdi Ulukaya, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Okay. It's my honor to introduce our speaker this morning and to welcome her back to Penn. As one of our most visible and accomplished alumni, Andrea Mitchell has had, this, as the saying goes, a front row seat to history, and usually one with a microphone. In her memoir, titled appropriately enough, Talking Back, she shares what she believes to be the two qualities most critical to her success. The first is curiosity. The second, endurance. Ms. Mitchell will share with you her story of how and why she became a journalist. Spoiler alert, it was at Penn, specifically at WXPN. That's where she found her first microphone and her first job in what was back then an old boys club. She began on air, programming music, reading liner notes, and adding her own research. Eventually, she worked her way up the patriarchy, becoming program manager, the first woman to hold that position. In those days, politicians would come through town and sit for interviews at XPN, and she landed one with Barry Goldwater. Later that year, she was selected to travel to Rockefeller Center in New York for Ivy League radio. She had found her first presidential election and the opportunity for a female journalist to cover it. When she arrived at the old Roosevelt Hotel, she discovered a room had been reserved for Andrew Mitchell. Later, she got a summer job at KYW News Radio in town as a typist, not a reporter. Still, she parlayed that job into a job at Westinghouse Radio as a copy boy. I think you get the idea. So why tell this story? To show that many things have changed? Yes. And to show that many things have unfortunately not changed? Also yes. Today we are at a pivotal moment when many of those things that have not changed are being pushed out of the shadows and into the spotlight and are now right there on center stage for all to see. And friends, can you possibly imagine a better person than Andrea Mitchell to be right there on that stage and in those lights with microphone in hand, asking why on earth it has taken so darn long? I know I can't. Graduates, join me in welcoming an enduring voice, a voice that speaks up and talks back, and one of the greatest journalists of our time, who we proudly call one of our own, Andrea Mitchell.
Thank you all so much, President Gutman, Provost Pritchett, Chairman Cohn, Reverend clergy, faculty, parents, families, friends, and partners, and the combined classes of 2018. I am overjoyed and overwhelmed, and above all, humbled. This is an honor I never could have imagined, but no award, no recognition has ever meant as much. I think of all the years I've stood and clapped and cheered watching Penn graduates march down Locust Walk for this ceremony, a procession that never fails to bring me to tears. And then the excitement of coming here and hearing poets and presidents, world leaders and global thinkers address our graduates, to say nothing of Bono and Denzel and Lin-Manuel, making me feel, as you can well understand at this moment, like that long-forgotten vice presidential candidate for Ross Perot back in 1992, Admiral James Stockdale, whose first words on the debate stage were, "Who am I and why am I here?" Even worse, I have a confession for all of you here today. I almost didn't graduate more than a half century ago. As commencement drew near, I had, unlike Ben Franklin, I just learned, I had failed to complete my gym requirement by passing the swim test. Yes, it was required. So I had to spend the last few weeks before commencement in the pool. It seemed like a waste of time. But you know, decades later, I got caught in a riptide off of Great Point on Nantucket Island. I had to tread water as I got carried out to sea for what seemed like an eternity before I was finally rescued. I wasn't sure I was going to make it, but I was prepared at Penn. I'm here today because when I arrived as an unformed 16-year-old freshman, this great university gave me choices at a time when it was not at all self-evident that women could strive to compete as equals. Penn is now vastly different than it was back in 1963, fully coeducational, diverse, even more intellectually vibrant, and physically so beautiful. I am proud of our stellar faculty, all of the physical improvements, our architecture, our green spaces. But most of all, I am here to celebrate you today. You are what make our university so great. Your intellectual capital, your research, your discoveries, your community service, as you have, we hope, forged lifelong friendships and become proud Quakers. So I've been thinking a lot about what wisdom I could offer your class today. I'm struck by how many of life's adventures are the result of accident, not design, if you are prepared to take advantage of the serendipitous. That means having the tools, the knowledge imparted by this great university, and the confidence to take chances, explore new paths, chase your dreams. I often think about how different my life would have been had I not wandered down the third-floor corridor of Houston Hall in the fall of my freshman year to follow the sounds of classical music and discovered what was then the studio of WXPN. In those days, our FM station was entirely student-run. We programmed classical music, jazz after midnight, folk music on Saturday nights, and news. After years of studying the violin and not fully prepared to admit my failures there in front of one of the great maestros of our era, but after years of studying the violin, I'd come to Penn, having realized that I was a good but not a great violinist. And no matter how hard I practiced, I would never, to paraphrase that old joke, never get to Carnegie Hall. But I was a pretty good English student. I had loved writing since becoming the school news reporter for our hometown newspaper in the 6th grade. I had fallen in love with history and literature thanks to encouraging teachers in high school. So exploring my interests in a liberal arts curriculum was an inviting alternate aspiration. And then on that day, early in the fall of my freshman year, I discovered broadcast news. Which brings me to my first lesson. Be curious. Do not presume to know who you might become because you never finish becoming. I look back on those early years in the College of Liberal Arts for Women with gratitude and with thanks that the College of Liberal Arts for Women no longer exists. It was an artifact of a different era, as were the separate rules for women we found so constraining. The curfews, the dress code, the rules that did not apply to the men. It was an oppositional time over civil rights and later Vietnam. The early strivings of what was to grow into the women's movement. A decade both transformational and turbulent, marked by violence throughout. The killing of an American president only 2 months after my class arrived on this campus. The murders of 3 civil rights workers in 1964. And when we were young graduates, the murders of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Bobby Kennedy in 1968. Our generation had some very clear-cut issues. Changing laws to improve civil rights, dealing with Vietnam. The generations before had the Great Depression and World War II. Today, we are living through a period that feels equally challenging and disorienting. But now the challenges are subtler, even more complex. The social dilemmas affecting race, ethnicity, gender, problems that new laws can address, but not always fix. And today, political norms are under attack from all sides. What the late Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan used to call defining deviancy down. The New York senator, a great debater, also coined the phrase, "You are entitled to your own opinions, but not your own facts." But in today's politics, facts are described as alternative, and truths are often relative. Devices that we thought would liberate us can at times weigh us down. Social media that enable us to forge connections can at times be isolating. We can feel overrun by the velocity of information bombarding us day and night. And in a country more divided than at any time in recent memory, too often we retreat to our corners, becoming all too comfortable relying on news media that confirm our opinions rather than challenging our preconceived notions. But you here in the class of 2018, you have the capability, the education, and the spirit to tackle these and similar issues in a world with 3 times the number of people as when I graduated so many years ago. So my next lesson, be open-minded, never stop learning. How to find the truth? Use the skills you've learned here at Penn. Evaluate your sources, test your theories, be smart consumers. In this overheated environment, honest, fearless journalism is essential to sustaining our democracy. Honest journalism, fearless journalism is perhaps more necessary than at any time I can recall since the civil rights movement. But to fulfill our mission for you, the public, we must demand more of ourselves, and you must demand more of us. We must guard against errors and avoid hyperbole, make sure we do not jump to conclusions or parrot conventional wisdom. And as new media proliferate and lines are blurred between hard news and entertainment, those of us performing traditional journalism have to stick to our core mission, providing a reality check, a factual baseline against which to measure a storm of tweets. In this regard, calling us the enemy of the people or fake news is calculated to diminish our authority, to make it more difficult to challenge false narratives, even as our politics become increasingly disconnected from facts. Fake news is hardly a new phenomenon. Wars have been started as the result of sensational headlines based on false narratives. As long ago as 1898, when claims that a torpedo or some other external explosion blew up the USS Maine in Havana Harbor, killing hundreds on board. The cry, "Remember the Maine," quickly became the pretext for the US to declare war against Spain. The cause, originally unclear, almost a century later, another investigation discovered that the tragedy was probably self-inflicted, possibly the result of a coal bunker fire on board. But these days, fake news is also what people call news they don't agree with. And it can be information warfare, such as Russian propaganda masquerading as legitimate news to exploit societal divisions and set us against each other. As consumers and purveyors of information, it's on us, all of us, to figure out what is real and what is not. So, today my final lesson is be engaged. As you follow your passions and discover new pursuits, be involved citizens. Be involved citizens of your neighborhood, your community, your nation, and the world. Express yourselves, whether it is with a blog or a book or a painting or a play, in a classroom, by joining a movement, or just playing a game. We all know the power that sports have to bring us together. Just take it from our incredible basketball team, the first to make the March Madness tournament in 11 years. Listen and learn, but don't just be an observer. There is never a permanent resting place for democracy or a free press. You have to work at it every day. If you know something is wrong, write that letter to the editor. Support a candidate of any political persuasion. Be involved. Speak up. Gain strength from the example of the teenagers in Parkland who transformed tragedy into purpose. Feel empowered by the women and the men who are no longer willing to tolerate the abuse of sexual predators. Me Too and Time's Up can teach us a kind of courage I never imagined as a 16-year-old freshman first arriving at Penn. It was pure happenstance that I walked down the 3rd floor of Houston Hall that day, embarking on a path of discovery that became a career of never-ending adventure, all because of a little luck and because I was prepared to take advantage of it. Prepared because of Penn. Now it's your turn. I have no doubt that many of you will look back at your years here and realize it was full of such moments. Moments that at the time seemed to be happy accidents of your own. An afternoon with friends on the quad, a late night that turned into an early morning of studying at Van Pelt. Maybe inspiration even struck you one evening out at Smokey Joe's. Hey, who am I to judge? You have had a superb education, but in truth, it's only the first step on your journey. Your challenges will be great, but so will the opportunities. Your careers will likely veer in directions we have yet to imagine, toward occupations that have not yet been invented. Many of you will be leading the way in these transformations. But don't forget your roots here on this campus. They will nourish you as you grow and thrive. And remember, if you are rocketing through space someday, thanks to Elon Musk, the globe that you see will have no borders, no artificial boundaries, no barriers against refugees or immigrants. Just glorious, glorious vistas. And finally, if you'll permit me a little sentiment, let me share what my friend and mentor in journalism, Tim Russert, a great bear of a man from Buffalo, whom we lost way too soon, used to say as I would rush off to a new assignment each morning. Go get 'em. Go get 'em, class of 2018. You have made us all so proud. Thank you so much. Thank you for the honor of my lifetime.
Right. Oh, okay, okay.
Degrees in course will now be conferred. Presentations will be made by the deans. Candidates are requested to stand when presented by their dean and to take their seats when their degrees have been conferred by the president.
On behalf of the great School of Arts and Sciences, I ask the candidates for the following degrees to rise as I call them. Master of Science in Applied Geosciences, Master of Applied Positive Psychology, Master of Behavioral and Decision Sciences, Master of Chemical Sciences, Master of Environmental Studies, Master of Liberal Arts, Master of Medical Physics, Master of Science in Organizational Dynamics, Master of Philosophy, Master of Public Administration, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and last, but certainly not least, candidates for the Bachelor of Arts in the College of Arts and Sciences and the College of Liberal and Professional Studies. Madam President, before you stand the recipients of the finest liberal arts education in the land. Armed with their analytic and creative powers, they are poised to lead the world and make it a better place.
Graduates, your achievements make you fitting heirs of our founder, Benjamin Franklin. With the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees recommended by your faculty. You now enjoy all the rights and the responsibilities of those degrees. Congratulations!
On behalf of the School of Engineering and Applied Science, may I ask the candidates for the following degrees to please rise. Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Bachelor of Applied Science, Master of Biotechnology, Master of Computer and Information Technology, Master of Integrated Product Design, and Master of Science in Engineering. Madam President, it is difficult to predict the future, especially in the world of technology. But as famous computer scientist Alan Kay said, the best way to predict the future is by inventing it. I present to you these graduates who will invent our future and create a better world for us.
Terrific. Graduates, may your efforts better the means by which we all live our lives. And with the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees recommended by your faculty. You now enjoy all the rights and responsibilities of those degrees. Congratulations.
I wonder if there are any students out there from the Wharton School. We're a humble little place. We only have 2 degrees. I'm going to ask to rise first candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration, and followed by candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Economics. Madam President, Wharton was the world's first business school. We believe it's the world's best business school. I know one of your favorite words is innovation. Wharton's in the innovation business. Innovation is about turning great ideas into greater outcomes. That's what Penn's all about. That's what Wharton's all about, and that's what these graduates are about. They'll turn creative ideas into outcomes that matter, outcomes that will not only change their world, but outcomes that will change our world. I'm so proud to present to you the candidates from the Wharton School.
Yes. Graduates, prosperity, peace, and plenty, may you help us achieve all three. And with the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees recommended by your faculty. You now enjoy all the rights and responsibilities of those degrees. Congratulations.
Will candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Science in Nursing and Master of Science in Nursing from the #1 nursing school in the world please rise? We are small, but we are mighty. Before you stand expert practitioners, leaders, and innovators who will deliver quality care, who will advance the science, who will impact policy and practice, and who will engage with communities locally and globally to advance health, life, and living. President Gutmann, it's with great pride that I present to you these exceptional leaders.
Wow. Graduates, may you bestow health and hope through every stage of life's journey. With the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees recommended by your faculty. You now enjoy all the rights and responsibilities of those degrees. Congratulations.
I ask the candidates at the Raymond and Ruth Perelman School of Medicine to please rise for the following degrees: the Doctor of Medicine, the Master of Bioethics, Master of Public Health, Master of Regulatory Affairs, Master of Science in Clinical Epidemiology, Master of Science in Health Policy Research, Master of Science in Translational Research. Madam President, our school was the first school of medicine in the United States of America, founded in 1765, and I'm pleased to report that it's still the very best school. Our candidates combine science, humanity, and professionalism in the service of their fellow humans. I am pleased to present the candidates from the Raymond and Ruth Perelman School of Medicine.
Wow. Graduates, may your hands heal, your minds find new ways to cure, and your hearts bring kindness to bear. And with the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees recommended by your faculty. You now enjoy all the rights and responsibilities of those degrees. Congratulations.
On behalf of Penn Law School, I ask the candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor, Masters of Law, Masters in Comparative Law, and Masters in Law to please rise. Madam President, these candidates have completed a rigorous interdisciplinary course of legal education. They've performed tens of thousands of hours of pro bono legal work, locally, nationally, and internationally. And they're extremely well prepared to enter this world of ours that needs the rule of law and the role of principled, committed lawyers like these more than ever. Madam President, I present to you the Penn Law class of 2018.
Wow. Wow. Graduates, May you fulfill the highest aim of the law to secure liberty and justice for all. With the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees recommended by your faculty. You now enjoy all the rights and responsibilities of those degrees. Congratulations.
I ask the awesome candidates in the School of Design for the following degrees to please stand. Master of Architecture, Master of Science in Architecture, Master of Environmental Building Design, Master of Science in Design, Master of City Planning, Master of Urban Spatial Analytics, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Science in Historic Preservation, and Master of Landscape Architecture. President Gutmann, art and design have the power to transform places where we live and work, to bring beauty, to strengthen our connections with nature, and to bring about greater equity in the built environment. I give you the Penn Design Class of 2018.
Wow. Graduates, may you cultivate beauty, create community, and build harmony. With the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees recommended by your faculty. You now enjoy all the rights and responsibilities of those degrees. Congratulations.
Candidates from the School of Dental Medicine, which used to have 2 degrees but now has 3, Doctor of Dental Medicine, Doctor of Science in Dentistry, and Master of Science in Oral Biology. Please stand. Madam President, I present to you the finest graduates in dental medicine who will enter their careers with skill, compassion, and thoughtfulness. Thank you.
Graduates, may you bring smiles of health to patients all around the world. With the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees recommended by your faculty. You now enjoy all the rights and responsibilities of those degrees. Congratulations.
On behalf of the School of Veterinary Medicine, I ask that the candidates for the degree of Veterinariae Medicinae Doctoris please rise. Madam President, the class of 2018 will receive the unique VMD degree, and they are the best humanity can offer to heal animals and connect people to the entire living world. This year, our city's team of avian raptors, the Eagles, went from underdogs to top dogs. You Penn Vet grads have always been and always will be Penn's top dogs or your other favorite animal. Long may you wave.
Joan, this is your last commencement as Dean of Penn Vet. Your work has been nothing short of transformative. We're honored to have enjoyed your friendship and leadership, and we will always remember you with the deepest pride. Let's hear it for Dean Joan Hendricks. And graduates, all creatures great and small are in your care. We will always be grateful for that care. With the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees recommended by your faculty. You now enjoy all the rights and responsibilities of those degrees. Congratulations.
Will the candidates from the Graduate School of Education for the degrees of Master of Science of Education, Master's Philosophy of Education, and Doctor of Education please rise? Madam President, I'm pleased to present to you the graduates of our world-class Graduate School of Education, who in their roles as transformational leaders and teachers will go on to create a more just and equitable world.
Graduates, may your work create possibilities for people everywhere to pursue their dreams. With the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees recommended by your faculty. You now enjoy all the rights and responsibilities of those degrees. Congratulations!
Will the candidates for the degrees Master of Social Work, Master of Science in Nonprofit Leadership, Master of Science in Social Policy, and Doctor of Social Work in the School of Social Policy and Practice please stand? President Gutmann, these candidates came to what we like to call Penn's Social Justice School with the Franklinian ambition of making this world a better place for everyone in it. We believe they leave better equipped and hopefully inspired to do just that.
Graduates, you know that the measure of our greatness is how we treat the most vulnerable among us. Social justice, social work, and policy are your cause. We are so proud of you. With the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees recommended by your faculty. You now enjoy all the rights and responsibilities of those degrees. Congratulations.
President Gutmann, founded in 1959, the University of Pennsylvania's Annenberg School is ranked as the #1 communication program in the nation. Our graduates go on to be leaders in the teaching, study, and practice of media and communication across the globe. As you know, as a PhD-only program, I have no Masters of Communication students to present to you today. In lieu of that, I would like to ask our nearly 100 undergraduate majors who just received their degrees from one of the 4 Penn undergraduate schools to please stand, and ask our PhD students and Masters of Arts students who will receive their degrees shortly from the graduate faculties to also please stand, and ask you and the rest of the Penn community to congratulate them all for jobs well done. Congratulations.
Oh, wait, you stay there. Everybody here knows, Michael, that you are a legendary Penn Dean. You're an exemplary Penn citizen, and you are a great graduate of our College of Arts and Sciences. Your 15 years of devoted service and transformative leadership as Dean of our Annenberg School will truly never be forgotten, and we will cherish our friendship with you forever. Everyone, let's hear it for the incomparable Dean Della Carpini.
Will the candidates for Masters of Arts, Masters of Science, and Doctor of Philosophy please stand? Madam President, on behalf of the Graduate Council of the Faculties, representing all of the graduate groups across the University of Pennsylvania, I am honored to present to you these candidates whose tireless commitment to academic rigor will push the boundaries of knowledge through their scholarly endeavors, research, teaching, and impact.
Graduates, you have reached the pinnacle, the very pinnacle of academic achievement in your discipline. With the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degrees recommended by your faculty. You now enjoy all the rights and responsibilities of those degrees. Congratulations. So, graduates, would you all please stand? You have arrived. We want to applaud your achievements. Graduates, all up. Congratulations. You may be seated. We have reached the close of this glorious ceremony. Please join me in recognizing all those without whose efforts and sacrifices this day of celebration would not be possible. Graduates, let's begin by joining me in applauding the ultimate heroes, your parents. Here's to our parents. Wow. Let's also hear it for the partners of our graduate and professional students. And I know everybody also wants to join me in saluting the absolutely remarkable people who help run our university each and every day. Penn's incredibly talented and dedicated staff, the best you could absolutely hope for. And graduates, Penn faculty are the finest in the world, and what a difference they have made in everyone's life. Please join me in applauding our amazing Penn faculty. And finally, I'm privileged to officially welcome our honorary degree recipients and all the members of the class of 2018 into the amazing community of Penn alumni. Let's salute members of the classes of 1993 and 1968 here with us today celebrating their 25th and 50th reunions. Thank you so much. Congratulations. This has been absolutely wonderfully inspiring for us all. I would ask our guests to remain in place until the academic procession and the reunion classes have left the field. Right now, let's all please rise for the dismissal offered by our incomparable university chaplain, Reverend Chaz Howard. And after the dismissal, please all join the Penn Glee Club in the red and blue.
Among the beautiful public art pieces throughout our campus are the iconic Ben on the Bench, the Broken Button, the Peace Sign, and our famous Love Statue. There's another lesser-known work of public art here at Penn entitled King Solomon. Go and find this sculpture. More importantly, go and find what it symbolizes: wisdom. For just as laws without morals are useless, knowledge without wisdom is incomplete and dangerous. But with wisdom, you can indeed advance knowledge for good. Thus, beloved members of the class of 2018, congratulations, and may you heed wisdom's call. Amen.
You don't need me.
Come, all ye loyal classmates now in hall and campus through. Lift up your hearts and voices for the royal red and blue. Fair Harvard has her crimson, old Yale her colors too. But for dear Pennsylvania, we wear the red and blue. Hurrah! Hurrah, Pennsylvania! Hurrah for the red and the blue! Hurrah, 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 hurrah for the red and blue!